In this episode, we interview Ric Flair. Woo! All right. Hey, guys, we're back. Today was a fun day, man.
Yeah.
So day 2, by the way, we would have started this a lot earlier, but Justin was like, okay, first he didn't have his laptop. Then he got his laptop, but then he didn't have his power cord.
Yeah, but who disconnected all of the lighting in this entire room? Huh? Someone had to go to sleep last night. This guy, right?
All right, whatever. So anyways, should we just get right into it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Let's do it. Whatever.
All right. So check this out. So today we went over to the Stern pinball area, and it was pretty cool. So they have a whole entire booth set up, and I got a chance to interview the one, the only Ric Flair, or is it John Stern? It is John Stern, right?
Yeah, Mr. John Stern.
Yeah,
himself.
Mr. John Stern. So he is the president of Stern Pinball. And hold on, I got a little bit of a lag there. There we go. He was a really, really cool guy. So if you get a chance, go check out that interview. But the thing is, I asked him at the end of that interview, I said, okay, everyone wants to know, what's your favorite pinball? And he goes, my favorite pinball is Stranger Things.
Now,
and I'm like,
now when he said that, we were thinking, he even said, well, I'm a sales guy, I'm a marketing guy. And we were thinking, well, yeah, it's their new cabinet, so he's going to, talk whatever. He's like, whatever the latest cabinet I have is, that's my favorite.
And he does say, he goes, oh, well, I am a sales guy.
Right.
And he jokes around that. So, I don't know, Justin and I were like, all right, whatever. We kind of blew it off. Now, he did reference that it was the professional. I think it's shoot, I can't remember now.
So they would have the premium?
Premium
but the
and
pro was higher than the premium.
And then I thought there's a professional. Oh, the
Maybe.
pro is the professional.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Gary was his name. Is that right? Gary, Indiana? No, it was Gary Stern.
Yeah, Gary Stern. Sorry. So Gary Stern. So he was a really, really nice guy. He's actually kind of funny. But anyway, so when he said that, I kind of blew it off. But it was interesting. So I went, oh my gosh, so we got to check that pinball out. And I know that that's been out for a little while, but there's this new Pro Edition.
New one.
Yeah, that's brand new that actually they wouldn't let you take video of. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever this is, it must be awesome, because he's saying it's the best one they've ever developed and his favorite one. And I played it, and I'm like, Justin. And so I'm a fan of Stranger Things, but Justin has never seen it.
Yeah,
But
I'm a little anti-Netflix because I work for the competition. So.
Yeah, well, you gotta get into it. But I was like, okay, I literally ran over to Justin. I'm like, dude, you have to play this. Like, I don't care if you've never seen the show before. It is so damn good. And tell them why, because you brought up, you put into perspective an element of that game.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So I want you to talk about that. Now,
maybe it's because I'm not.
By the way, they just dissed us and said Pro is the lowest level. So I don't know, Premium, Extreme, whatever it was
whatever
called.
the top one is that's not out yet. Okay, so I don't know. Disclaimer: I played pinballs when I was a kid, pinball games when I was a kid, but it's not like I know everything in and out about these pinball machines, and so I never got to the point where I understood the strategy of the game other than not having the ball go down.
Okay,
right?
we're getting corrected by Jay. He says that limited edition is the top end.
Okay.
And we just got a super chat. Did the fart bandit strike again?
Yes, P-Dubs came by. We talked to him today, and he promised that he would not fart near our show again.
Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Appreciate that. Okay, so check this out.
It.
What was really cool, so I'll describe this game. It was very obvious right away, the strategies. What would you call it? I think there's a term for it, right? Your objective.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different objectives and different pinball tables, but this one has, there was one very clear objective on this table, and you can go ahead and explain that.
So we were playing it, and so in the center of it, first of all, there's all these projections in this. It's like projecting onto these little white backdrops a video that plays. It's built into the game, right? So
and it looks like it does truly look like that thing is just a projection screen. It doesn't look like it serves any other purpose, right?
Right. But it's a part of the gameplay, so it's like there's like all these letters, almost like you're playing Hangman. I know that maybe sounds weird, but it was like these tiles come up and say letters on it, and you got to bounce and hit your ball right on those tiles, and then it's like you're completing the word. And once you do, the whole thing comes down and reveals a boss.
It's a Demogorgon. So from the show, the Demogorgon is actually behind, so you can kind of see him, but not really. So as soon as you hit those letters, this window pops down, which ends up being a ramp.
That's right. And so, you're going to target it. Now the first time we were kind of playing it and we were watching someone else play it, it's hard. It's, you got to hit the ball right into the hole.
It has to go right into his mouth or like the center.
Right, but behind it is a big LCD screen that's like replacing the DMD screen, right? So it has pictures from Stranger Things and whatnot.
And the resolution's like ridiculous. It's like high end.
So once you hit the boss, right? And if you don't make it in the hole, then the graphic behind the video, it's like him getting damaged. He's like, oh,
and he gets angry, and the cabinet is like rumbling.
Yeah.
So this doesn't have like a little bit of feedback. It's like crazy, right? It's very, very powerful.
There's like a subwoofer in there that's like,
it's awesome.
So then finally you hit it a few times, and then all of a sudden, the pin, your ball goes right in the hole, and it's like you beat the boss. It was amazing. And then this was like the first game that we played, and then I went and played the Star Wars cabinet. Did you ever end up playing Jurassic Park?
I didn't, but Jurassic Park looked pretty cool too.
Yeah, but so now we're playing these games that were like, lower quality, not this limited edition version, and there was a huge difference. Now, one of the biggest difference was the price.
Yeah. So that limited edition for the Stranger Things was he said the MSRP is $9,100. Now I asked him, I was like, well, does that mean is that actually what the vendors are selling it for? And he said it's a little bit, depending on, so the way Stern works, they have all these local distributors who like sell their products. And so you may pay a different cost for it on the East Coast, West Coast, or Central, depending on, the vendor that you're working with. So we did get one super chat from Braxton Bragg, and he said, ask Scott to start adding plastic screw covers to the Arcade1ups. Now, I know a lot of people will buy the bag of those screw covers, and so I agree. It actually does. Like, if you buy those things, the black covers, if it makes sense for the color of your cabinet, they do make a big difference. But
sure. Yeah,
all right, so anyways, to tie off on the Stern pinball thing, it was really cool, and it gave me a new appreciation. I've played a lot of pinball, but not these like new ones.
Right.
And so like I'm surprised at how much technology they put into it. And Ric Flair was like totally the CEO Stern was like totally into like adding more technology. He actually was really open to virtual pinball too, although very partial to mechanical, but they do everything. There's a Stern app, there's Stern in VR, so he's kind of like going everywhere. All right.
No, getting these super chats, and we really appreciate it. It kind of feels like, did you ever watch that Man on the Moon? And who's the comedian that Jim Carrey is playing in that movie? You know what I'm talking about? He died in like 1980 or something like that.
And, I know what you're talking about.
He would come out, he's like doing these jokes and they're like, no, do your impression, That's what I feel like right now is we're talking about Stern Pinball, and they're like, no, yeah, this is good, Justin and Ralph, you have a great show. Can you talk about Arcade1up, please? And we're like, no, okay. So,
Andy Kaufman, by the way.
Andy Kaufman, real quick. Thank you so much, Zohar, for the super chat. Please ask if they'll make an MK countercade. We did a video today, live stream on the countercade, jumping to Arcade1up for a moment,
and we're gonna show that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, and we have some interesting news. We'll answer that question later, Zohar, and you're gonna like it.
And the other thing is, if you guys stick around to the end of the live stream, there's a little hidden Easter egg that I found in something on the show floor today that they might not be that happy with me with me sharing.
Should we do it? Yeah, at the end we'll do it. If you tell us to do it, we'll do it.
If you tell us to do it, we'll do it.
We probably shouldn't do it, but maybe
we probably shouldn't.
Okay,
right.
We'll get there.
Okay, so this is really cool. So guys, one of the cool things about this year in particular is going to these events. Like I went to E3, no one knew who the hell I was, right? No one knew who RetroRalph was, right? I didn't expect anyone to know. either, right? I'm still very, very, very small as far as the YouTube world goes. But you know, as I've grown the channel, there's people that are now like in the community that'll kind of recognize me, which is really cool. Like it feels really neat because it's like, wow, I guess, you know, when you have that many views, you travel a little bit further. So this was the first time ever that other YouTubers and other people had like recognized me. And this guy,
when I first saw you, I was like, oh, you're that RetroRalph guy.
Yeah. So this guy, we were in the Arcade1up booth, and this guy comes up to me, and his channel is called
The Rexer Show.
The Rexer Show.
The Rexer Show.
So the Rexer Show. He was super nice, and we talked for a while actually. And
he actually did a recording, and we're going to be on it later.
We'll be on his channel at some point.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
He was really, really nice. But he goes, hey, I actually kind of like poked fun at you in a video I had. And so we're like, Justin and I are like, let's go check it out. So we checked out the video, and he pokes fun at like 3 YouTubers. Mine was the least. He was really funny, but mine was the least funny. Yeah. But we were dying laughing at the first one. So I'm like, I need to share this.
That's right.
It's hilarious.
If you don't mind, we're gonna switch to his video for a moment. It's just a section. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to show you, because we were like, okay, this YouTuber came up and he says, you know, he's not yet at 1,000 subscribers. And we were like, okay, we'll check him out. And we watched it, and it was great content.
It was really good content.
Like seriously. So we were like, you know what? He probably won't mind if we go ahead and show just a segment of the type of content that he's making. And then we'll have links in the show note after the show. Please show him some love, give him some subscription, you know. And like this video, because I honestly hope that he makes more content like this.
I do too, because it was really funny. Okay, so I'm going to play the clip right now. This is a clip from a different, you know, it's a larger show where he's kind of poking fun at 3 YouTubers. Now he says like, I'm fit. It's totally respectful,
it's out of
manner.
Love, right?
It's like he's just doing it for fun.
And I've been waiting for someone to do this. Like I've talked to several YouTubers, like waiting for someone to kind of like you'll just have to see.
All right, ready guys, we're going to roll it right now.
It's time. All this talk about hacking the Sega Mini, Hack-Chi, Project Lunar. Which one's the best? Let's ask the locals and see what they think. ETA Prime. He never shows his face. He must be a Mando. Let's see what he has to say.
CTA Prime, back here again. Today I'm going to show you how to easily...
This is just a tutorial. He wouldn't give his preference anyway. Ask him if he likes Coke or Pepsi. He'll say they're both great. And if I have to see another video titled, "This handheld's the best ever," I might have to carbon freeze myself.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I hope you appreciated that. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He makes fun of me. He says, what does he say on mine?
I don't remember, because, you know, that was the funny.
Yeah, it was
right?
so good that it was such
actually,
a highlight.
there were several that were funny.
He was poking
fun.
No,
I remember. So okay. So the name of the video is called The Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about the Mandalorian. He even has a really cool thumbnail. He uses the music from the show Mandalorian, which I haven't watched Stranger Things, but
and I haven't watched
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And this guy makes a lot of references to Mandalorian that are really funny. As you probably saw, he's in a Boba Fett outfit. He sounds like the Mandalorian. It's really funny, right? So what he said about you is he's like, you know, here's RetroRalph. The guy must mod an Arcade1up cabinet every day.
It was really funny.
And I think that's about right. It's not a joke. It's actually true.
Yeah, it is pretty true. All right, so
wait, we did get another super chat. It was
we did.
Zohar again saying, please don't forget to ask about the MK countercade. And then he made an offer to you, Ralph. He said he would pay you $200 to make him an MK countercade.
Okay.
You know, being your broker here, I'm gonna have to say we would do that for $250, and then we have a deal.
I actually, dude, I would love to do that. It's just, you know, I would love to just do that as like, you know, just for people as a service. It's just that I just don't have the time right now. Oh my gosh, we're getting like crazy spammed in the chat right now. And we have another super chat on the II Arcade.
Yeah, you guys are figuring this out. Calm down with the spamming. But yes, he wants to talk about.
So Braxton Bragg has another super chat. Thank you, by the way. But it was about the II Arcade graphics. Is that just like a statement? Like that it's not good, or
Yeah, I think he's saying
Okay.
he doesn't like it.
um.
Well, we gave them feedback on that.
So here's the thing. So I'll share this because I really don't think they're gonna watch this anyway. But it's not like I'm under NDA with them or anything. No one here is, so it's fine. But so we basically. So I'm gonna share this, and he did not do this disrespectfully, but I was kind of beating around the bush. Sometimes I'm direct, and sometimes I beat around the bush, and I was feeling like I might hurt his feelings if I tell him I think it's ugly. Because I'm talking to the II Arcade guy, and I'm like, he's like, what don't you like about it? And I'm like, yeah. And Justin's like, just out of curiosity, did you ask people in the United States about the design? And he's like, he goes, no, it was mostly people in Korea. And Justin's all,
Yeah, I was really trying to push it, and the reason why is because, looking back at Arcade1up's success, I think one of the reasons why they have been successful is they had some issues, admittedly, in their first generation, but they listened to the fans and they made changes. We're talking about major upgrades, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't hear, the feedback, they're going to produce something that no one's going to like. So we then told them, look, this looks great. This feels great.
Yeah,
the gameplay is great. The graphics are bad.
Yeah, and so he's like, it was weird, the developer of any product is gonna probably, sometimes they don't take that feedback as constructive criticism. He took it pretty well, and he's like, well, it's interesting that you say that. So one of the things that we're thinking about doing, and hopefully we're not going too long-winded on this, but one of the things he goes, we're thinking about offering custom graphics. So like the person that buys it has options when they buy it. Now, he said that's all sort of like to be determined, licensing type stuff. So we'll see. They may, because dude, it's like, it looks like a faux marble kind of thing, which like no arcades I've ever seen in the history of arcades look like marble, like a marble countertop.
Right. I think what he was trying to say, because he said this thing's like everything that you're seeing is calculated, like on purpose, is what he was saying, and we were like, really? That's not a good idea. And he was saying, I think what he was trying to say was, look, we're not going to spend money on licensing artwork. Instead, we're going to put that money into the hardware and have a very plain artwork, and then you can do whatever you want.
Oh, so you don't think he was saying, like, we'll offer it?
Well, he mentioned that too.
Okay.
But he also was saying, like, he said the word base. This is like a very basic thing.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're in the middle of a talk.
No, that's all right. Well, let's get
There's
to
a
these super chats.
chat by Stinger.
Come back up. Let's do Zohar again.
Okay, but we have to start
you
there.
do them in order.
No, I'm not doing it in order
Okay,
because this one. So Stinger Film says, I had no idea Bernie Sanders was such a huge pinball guy. I feel really bad because what is his real name again? Gary. So Gary Stern was awesome.
Right.
He was a wicked nice guy.
Now, first of all, when we saw him, and I was like, Ralph, we need to do it. He's like, what videos should we do today? And I was like, you should interview Ric Flair, right?
And I actually didn't want to do it. I was nervous to go up to him, and Justin's
we got serious, and we're like, no, if we're gonna do it, let's do it legit, right?
No, and honestly, a lot of respect for him. I mean, look at what he's done with pinball. I mean, it's amazing, and he's not, he's an older guy who's leveraging modern technology, so it's pretty awesome. All right, but we'll move on from that. But that was pretty funny. So, Justin, can you scroll up to the other?
Yeah. So Zohar is gonna give you $350 for the Mortal Kombat Countercade.
Zohar, where do you live? Not like your address, but give me
what
like
state?
Where in the country you live. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll table that one, but tell me where you lived and put it in the chat. But give me reference me in there.
What's really cool is you had going back to being recognized as a YouTuber. It was pretty cool. There's a handful of people. There's actually a few people that asked for his autograph. So that remember? Yeah. Never. He's playing.
I think
whatever.
he made that up. No one asked for your
So
autograph. Trust me,
Zohar,
no one wants that.
We can give you a Mortal Kombat Countercade signed by RetroRalph.
Shut up. That's so stupid. Shut up. All right. Anyways, so
The next one.
So speaking of other people that are in the community, there's this guy that I've actually known for a really long time. I'm going to tell a story in 2 seconds. So there was a guy on Facebook last year who had posted a bunch of pictures from CES, for like the last CES where Arcade1up was there, and his name is John Tanaka. And
Right.
I used his footage, and I asked him, can I use your footage? He said yes. So I published a CES video. In the whole video, I called him Troy Tanaka. So I completely got his name wrong, and I got to meet him face-to-face today. He's a really nice guy. He actually had forgot about that, and I brought up the story. He's like, dude, that was pretty funny. So anyways, he's a really nice guy, and he's been in the community for a long time, but we got to hang out with him for a while. So it's pretty neat. It's really cool to me. The coolest part of this is, and this hasn't happened much, but it's starting to happen now, is to be able to like intertwine with the people that watch and other YouTubers. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
Like there's another YouTuber
really
in here right now, Level 1 Online. I think he lives in Florida. I would love to meet him one day. It's just that a lot of times someone on the East Coast, we're not going to events that are necessarily like in the same place. So
Yeah. So another super chat from Seth Lacey. We thank you very much. Any word on a full-size Dig Dug cab?
I mean, I didn't ask that, but I didn't see anything that would have indicated we're ever going to get a full. I mean, not ever, but not in this run of cabinets.
To be honest, I didn't think we'd ever get a Frogger.
Yeah, I mean, they may do it. We can ask that tomorrow. We're going to be back there tomorrow, so we can definitely ask for you. And we are going to have another show tomorrow, so we'll that'll probably be our last show of this week. I don't think we're going to do one on Friday. So tomorrow we'll ask that question. Do we have something to like keep track of this stuff?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
So
Justin's like photographic memory. I got it.
Yeah. So another super chat. Casey White has Arcade1up talked about doing 1980s Indiana Jones or Tron arcade cabinets. I can answer this if you don't know the answer.
You can?
A little bit.
On the Tron side.
Okay,
of it,
who
right?
owns Indiana Jones?
I don't. Universal probably.
Yeah. Okay. Comment down below. Who in the chat? Who owns?
All right. Just answer. Just
Well,
answer.
now I'm afraid because what if I'm wrong?
Just answer it.
No, I don't know the answer. Okay, so we've talked about titles like that, and the answers that we get are like, we know. And Tron is high on that list. And Tron is a Disney IP. And they
Okay.
already have deals with Disney with Star Wars and Marvel.
Okay.
So everything's lined up that they could probably get the rights to Tron. But there's more things to it, right? Like we've learned, like the music, who's doing the
Yeah.
emulation? Does someone already have a port to it?
This would be a good time to talk about. So, do you want to talk about the? I don't remember the gentleman's name we met today, but it was the first time we had met him.
Oh my gosh.
So
That was awesome.
So real quick, I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit because I do want to get to a couple other things, but I think sometimes that we're quick to judge, a company like Arcade1up. Oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong. But keep in mind, the company's really only been around, or at least doing the Arcade1up brand for like a little over a year. And we got a chance to meet like one of the guys that kind of heads up the original design and all of the hardware engineering and everything. And it's just interesting, like, we got to really see a little bit, we had this one-off conversation with him. We got to see a little bit behind the curtain of like, they try really hard to maintain the original experience, or at least they have moving forward. Like they were talking about like how they get rights to music or how they get rights to artwork. And sometimes they just can't get it because either the artwork doesn't exist anymore or it would just be some astronomical cost. And they're like, look, we have to make some decision because if we went that direction, it impacts the cost of the cabinet.
Right.
So maybe we have to like take the Frogger art and like make his leg go a certain direction a little bit more or change the way his arm is and like that. So I guess like in that whole world, if you can change 20% of the original artwork, it's not the original artwork anymore and you can actually print it as yours.
Yeah, and 20% is probably the amount that a purist would, not a purist, you know what I mean? Someone who's like a diehard fan of like say Frogger would be like, oh, it's not the original. It's like, yeah. that's the idea. But it's a give and take, right? And some of those things they were saying, like, it's not just the cost. Like, sometimes it's impossible to acquire the license.
Sometimes literally, like, you can't, like, it's a dead end. There's no way to actually
like whoever
get
owns it, it's like, I'm not selling.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So sorry for that. We got a couple more super chats here. One was, I don't want to get them out of order. Okay, you handled the Indiana Jones one.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about Indiana Jones. So, as someone mentioned, Indiana Jones, I believe this is accurate. Indiana Jones was Lucasfilm, just like Star Wars.
Yeah, yep.
And Lucasfilms is now bought by Disney. Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, they've already done it before. So Indiana Jones is possible.
So it's in the realm of possibility.
Right, and
for
what we
sure.
learned today, like NBA Jam was kind of in the works, but they wanted to go online. So that's a technology they had to create. They actually took the ROM and like the company that they hired to do the emulation had to build in this concept of playing it online, which took time to develop. So that pushed it off to now.
Yep.
So maybe Indiana Jones is another title that they may do, but you know, it's all about timing. You know, they like to line it up with another event. So is there like a 40th anniversary Indiana Jones thing happening? So
Maybe.
you know what I mean. So we'll see. So
Yeah, I mean, I think basically to wrap that up, it's just with Disney owning the assets and them having a relationship with Disney, it's possible.
Right.
You're not going to see it. Like if this is a sample of what's happening between now and E3, I think probably the plans are pretty solidified. So maybe that's like a next year thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
I think
and
a lot
I
of
would
times
say,
you guys obviously dictate the direction I think they go a lot of
Yeah.
times. The people that are active in the community have dictated their direction.
That's
they
right.
really have. So, all right. So we had another one, Jason Span. He said, can I get a Cowboy Retro Ralph happy birthday to my son, Jacob? He's turning 13. Love the show. Hey, Jacob, how you doing, man? This is Cowboy Retro Ralph. Happy birthday to you, and hope you have a great 13th birthday. There you go.
And we got Zohar, who replied he lives in Sherman Oaks, California.
Okay, so that's not that far away because I'm in Arizona. So how about this, Zohar? Email me, retroralph1980@gmail, and we'll figure out how we can make that happen somehow.
Wait, do you still have the Cowboy Retro Ralph voice going?
I do?
You gotta get it out. Go back to Arizona.
Wait, did I actually say it?
You're like, come to my Retro Ralph 1980
retroralph
at gmail.com, and
1980
we'll talk.
gmail.com. Okay, so Killer Arcade Games. I love that guy, by the way. I feel like your channel is underrated. You deserve more than more subscribers than you have. You're really, really good. And he said, I used Ralph's CES footage without asking, but gave him credit on each clip and linked it. I got your name right, though. That's funny. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I
So
felt
we got
bad
another
about
super
that.
chat about Indiana Jones giving us a correction, and I think so. I think
Oh,
he's
Indiana
right.
Jones is
Looking
owned
up-
by Paramount.
Yeah,
I feel like we should
it's
be giving you
George
the $2
Lucas
back.
who worked on it, right? Is that it? Is that the connection? We're thinking it's Lucasfilms because George Lucas worked on it.
I don't know, man. That one I'm not sure
Yeah,
of.
help us out. We appreciate the super chat.
What is this one? We need your fix. Okay, I don't know what that one was. So we're gonna jump around real quick. We're gonna jump out of the chat for a second. And one of the things that someone wanted me to do is I was doing a video the other day and I saw this lady and I was like, there's no way you can look cool on this virtual reality chair. Because I was like, whoa, this is fun, guys. Whoa. So I made fun of her, and then someone said, well, hey, you need to do it. Like, you do it then. And okay, admittedly, you can't look cool doing it. So I did try it today. So Justin and I were over there, and I tried the chair, which, the virtual reality with this, motion chair is pretty damn cool. Justin did it, too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty
I was
realistic.
like, don't film me though.
Yeah, he said don't film me. But first of all, I look really weird. It was super fun. It totally it gave you I look so dorky. So all right, so anyways, you can't look cool doing it. But then I went and tried this other one, which was the upgraded version of that. So not only is it a chair, this is a 360 motion VR thing. This thing was pretty damn cool. I did ask him at the end. I'm like, well, what's the deal with this? If you want to see a clip on this, it's pretty funny, but it's up on the YouTube channel right now. But clearly, if you look, the guy didn't strap my feet in, so I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, because I was kind of being a little baby about it anyway. So my feet were popping out of the things, but it was pretty crazy because it kept you upside down for a lot longer than I think it should have. So anyways, that was pretty funny. I had fun with that, and I did do it. I came through. You guys said to do it, and I did it. So there you go. But it was fun.
All right, so I do Enrique Pizzotti. I will answer you. You fired S shots 3 times. I read your question, and I don't think it's horrible. You were kind of spamming a little bit. That's It's okay. Just no one else spam, please. But check it out. He says, "Hey guys, any info on the leaked images of the new Marvel cab? Also, did you guys get any info on the Street Fighter cab being re-released with new fixes?" So we do have information on that.
Yeah.
So the new Marvel cab, they wouldn't talk about. Basically, Scott, remember anything that we talked about with the leaks? His response was, we were like, "Hey, you really got to do Back to the Future," or we talked to John D and kind of be like, "Hey, well, the Marvel versus X-Men,
Well,
X-Men."
the only one that Scott was he wanted to say something about was when we talked about Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He seemed like he wanted to say something.
But even David gave a generic response about all of it.
Yeah. So my guess is that I didn't see a trailer. There isn't like a separate trailer at this one like last time. So it could be possible that those were cabinets that they had planned on showing people, and for whatever reason they decided not to, meaning not the general population, but maybe in private, just like they did with NBA Jam. But they were
right.
I'm not saying that whatever it is, they don't want to talk about it. So either it is going to happen at some point, or maybe they don't have the licensing for it, and it could maybe happen. But I think their response just tells me, look, they're just not ready to talk about whatever that was, and we were not supposed to see that. So.
Yeah, that's right. So David McIntosh, who's their head of their PR guy there, he said, anytime you've ever seen images online, what you've seen he said, listen, we have to build prototypes to show the people to get approval for the cabinet, right? So they have to go to, and have, I don't know who it is, like the IP owner, and be like, so this is our plan. What do you think? This is the NBA Jam cabinet. Are you on board with doing it? And so it sounds like he was implying anything that you saw are possible variations that they've pitched. They're saying, like, this is what we're thinking. And he said, until there's an announcement, it's not official.
Yeah,
right?
he did say that.
So I mean, it sounds like it'll probably come because everyone wants it. Right?
Yeah. No, I think so.
Right.
I think it will.
But there's no guarantee, right?
The one thing I will say that I kind of was suspect on the Buck Hunter cabinet was that I didn't see. So first of all, the wires kind of threw me off because, like, were the guns going to be like USB connected to something, and they don't really have anything that does that today. Like there's no like USB connectivity outside of that micro USB. So I don't know. It just all seemed kind of suspect to me anyway. So we'll see on that. And plus, you know what? I think it'd be the wrong move for Arcade1up to do a gun cabinet right now, unless they were teaming with someone that has the technology nailed on an LCD screen.
I see.
I feel like if you use a Dolphin bar, if you use, some sort of sensor bar technology, or if you use like something like the PDP Mars still needs a camera. Like everything kind of sucks for LCD because it's not convenient and there's always a setup process. I think if you're Arcade1up and you're selling a gun cab, you need to bring the same ease of use with a gun cab as you do with everything else. Like, turn it on, grab my gun, start shooting zombies or whatever. So what would be the smartest thing, and I don't consult for them, so they're not going to listen to me. I might make a recommendation, but I would say the easiest solution for them would be if the side and light gun ends up coming out and it does what it looks like it does in videos, that would be plug and play, because it's using the white border around the screen, which I think admittedly over time will get smaller. So, and it's got the camera in the gun. So like that is a matter of, I can take the gun out. It doesn't matter where I stand. I don't need to recalibrate because it's just going to track that border no matter where I am.
Right. You were talking about before the complexity you had with one of the games you were playing. It was like you would calibrate at a certain position, but if you moved or handed off the gun to someone else,
it screws up the whole thing. So can you imagine how many times people would be calling Arcade1up? I can't. My accuracy's off.
Right, because they wouldn't know they need to recalibrate. Right. We have to get going with the chat. There's one more thing I wanted to mention: the Street Fighter Cab re-release. Now, everything that they showed off, I don't think there was anything that they actually showed today that's 100% official going to be
in the repurposed cabs.
No, like even the NBA Jam, like they made clarity. So NBA Jam had a lit marquee and a customizer.
Yeah,
it's possible when they go to, let's say, Walmart and say, Walmart, you want an exclusive on this? Walmart may say, yeah, let's do it at $2.99 without the lit marquee.
Yeah, right.
So they were showing, and they said there was a lot of cool things. Do we want to talk about that? Like the lit marquee will be an upgrade. If Walmart comes in and says, we'll get the $2.99 deal, but we don't want the lit marquee,
Yeah.
then they're going to offer the lit marquee on their website
on their
for a $50
website.
upgrade.
Now, keep
Or
in mind,
about that.
guys, you just have to remember, like, we're talking a lot of like speculative stuff, and the reason why we're bringing it up is that at CES it's that kind of show. Like buyers, we were sitting by the countercades. This guy comes up, I look at his badge. He's a buyer for Best Buy. He's looking. Do I want it? He's playing it. He's picking it up. He's looking at it. He might go to John D. Hey, look, we'd order like 10,000 of these things, but not at $99. You know what I mean? This is just all
just an
theoretical,
example, right?
So I'm just using it as an example. So
To illustrate the point, right?
So those big buyers can dictate changes. So right now, as it's displayed, it has a lit marquee. I'm gonna guess if they offer it like that, it's gonna be the same price as TMNT. It's gonna be $3.99. That's what I would think.
Right. And they did say like they kind of have their pricing point when they work with these retailers kind of worked out, and they're trying to stick to that different staged pricing point. So when it comes to Street Fighter, they showed an example, which was a Wave 1 single speaker lit marquee light up buttons. It was not. It was. We believe it was an upgraded monitor.
Yeah, but when we asked them about those the only cabinets there that I think are like really could potentially be either yay or nay chopping block cabs was that section of the repurposed Wave 1s. They were like, yes, a lot of that's conceptual, and it's for buyers, right? So they said that, like, those are laid out there for buyers. So, like, there might be a chance that they go, there really wasn't a lot of interest in that Street Fighter, but I doubt it. But I'm just saying, like, they could. Right. So anyways, I don't want you guys to be confused, and I don't want you to think that I don't think those things are coming out. But they definitely were very clear that those cabs on that wall were subject to change, so much so that the one on the right that you guys saw that had Golden Tee and Silver Strike, it's not on the floor anymore. Or they swapped the marquee out for just the Golden Tee one. So I didn't ask why, but they're not showing that Silver Strike logo. So we'll maybe ask them why they took it off the floor. But
yeah, we have another super chat that I'd like to answer. Shane Harmon is that? Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're gonna get to you in a moment because I think let's do it in order, right? So you want to grab Remy's?
Yeah, hold on. Let me find that really quick. Is there a pre-order date for the Arcade1up pinball? They didn't have a pre-order date. So they didn't have a pre-order date, and they kind of just left it as like, well, they kept saying that, so Scott wants it to be available around Father's Day.
Yeah.
But David was like really skittish around Father's Day. So he just said, look, I think it's going to be sometime after Father's Day in the second half of 2020. That's what he said.
And I think John also said...
But pre-orders, they may decide they're going to take pre-orders, but they didn't say anything about that.
Yeah. And they were basically saying, like, when they start getting the production run of the units, they're going to be evaluating them. And if they get everything perfect, if they just check all the boxes on everything, then they'll be able to, do it for a Father's Day release. But if there's something, if there's any challenge, if something kind of slows it down, then they're going to miss that window and then probably come out later in the year.
Braxton Bragg actually asked a question. He said, does the super chat money come to us? It actually does. So like, if you want to know how that works, so YouTube, you get your ad revenue for the videos that run, and at the end of that month, whoever those super chats get paid out in that payment that you get every month. So thank you for those. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. So Shane Harmon, he says, any update on the USB port purpose on Gen 3? Yeah,
well, you know that.
Yeah, this has been answered, so it's no question. Like, this is what it's for. So the USB port on the Gen 3 is for firmware updates. We don't know in what capacity they would execute that. We've kind of speculated on that, but that's what it's for. So the example is like the Rampage cabinet had some issues where people complained that it'd get stuck. What was the game? Was it Gauntlet? I think it was Gauntlet, like level 31 or something. It would just freeze. And so that was an issue with the ROM. And so their solution for Wave 1 was, basically send us the PCB back, or they just sent a new one. So imagine the cost it cost the company. They just sent new PCBs out. And the people that I talked to that did that, they didn't return their old ones.
Yeah.
So that was just cost sent out. So this is like, what did they call it? It's like a future-proofing or backup plan where it's like, let's go ahead and get this installed. So if there is an issue with, say, like NBA Jam, it's actually, it may have a USB port, but it's not even needed because it's Wi-Fi enabled.
Yeah.
But if you go back to, say, like, I don't know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we find out there's some glitch in it that's really bad. They will either post instructions on how to update the TMNT. They're like, here, download this file, put it on your thumb drive, plug it in, with the micro port, flip the switch because that's what the switch is for, and then it would take the update.
But we don't have any reports of that actually happening. But right. It could be possible. Yeah.
Like if that's what it's there for, or they may not do that. They may just say send it back and we'll send you a new one. And at their facilities, they would fix it and repurpose it.
All right, Justin, we got to move on because there's a lot going on here. So there was Seth had asked, will you mod Star Wars cab and seat to a driving cab? So I did a driving cab. So if you go to the channel, there was a racing proof of concept that I did, and then I ended up like taking that a step further and put pedals in the riser, and it's a stand-up racing cab. I think I'm done with the racing cabs right now, so I don't think I'm going to touch that. I have the Star Wars. It's actually in storage right now because I don't have any room. I don't know. I don't have like a modding plan for 2020. I have a couple of like cabinets I was thinking of doing, but I don't know if they're going to be Arcade1ups or not, just because one of them is like really large scale with 4 players, and it was expensive to get the original hardware, and I just feel like putting it into a 1-up might not be, I don't know. I think it needs to be more roomy, but I might try. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. So I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think I'm going to be modding those.
I'll ask the next super chat. It's from Jamie Walska. Wait, I got this. Jamie Wilkaszewski. All right, Jamie Wilkaszewski asks, comment down below, Jamie. Did I get your name right? Jamie Wilkaszewski says, was the material on the Star Wars bench leather or synthetic? In other words, pleather.
So, I mean, it looks like a leather material, so I would guess it's pleather. Plus, it didn't seem like real leather. It didn't feel like real leather, but it did feel like a high quality kind of like pleather material. Yeah. So there was another super chat.
We should we'll ask that tomorrow to get clarity on it, because there was a couple things about. Oh, we did get an answer, right? So someone asked on the previous, how much is it going to cost for that bench, right?
Yeah, I didn't ask. Did you ask?
John D told me, and he said so. Their target is $500.
Yeah.
No, $500.
$500?
Yeah. So no.
What do you mean $500?
No. So the way it's going to work out is they're going to sell the cabinet for $500 all together with it. And I was like, yeah, but what about the tens of thousands of existing Star Wars? And he goes, of course we'll add an upgrade. I'm like, well, that's what I want to know.
Oh, but they don't have it as a cost.
They don't have the price figured out yet. But he was like, of course we'll eventually have to make it. But they have to do it. I think they're showing like Walmart or Target and Best Buy, like, look, here's another variation that we can sell. And they're going to try to sell it as a full kit. And then they'll probably have an upgrade kit, maybe directly.
Someone made a
on
good
their
question. They said they don't use real wood, so why would they use real leather? I mean, it's kind of funny, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the cost would be real high if they use real leather. But someone said Gauntlet Legends. How do they know that? It actually is Gauntlet Legends. That's the cabinet I want to do this year. I want to do a Gauntlet Legends. So that's interesting that they knew that. All right. So speaking of Arcade1up, I did want to bring something up. So Justin, you know how we did our little video earlier today? Wait, why is my microphone so low? Are you guys being able to hear me okay? It seems like my microphone's turned really far down.
Maybe it's your gain on the actual. Anyway, so Braxton Braggs, he says,
guys, let me know if you can hear me okay.
Did you capture that one yet? No, I don't think we did.
Hold on. Check. 1, 2.
This guy.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 8. Check. 1.
They said it was all fine, dude. Move on. Now they're gonna be like, it's too loud.
No, it's good. You are good. Can hear you fine.
All right,
okay,
let's go.
So check this out. So we went to the Arcade1up booth, and I did my countercade thing, and we did it like really loud in the middle of the booth, and it was funny. Like all these buyers in the booth, there's like, okay, what's going on over there? Okay, how many for the? I'd like to take 7,000 units of your Galagala, please. But anyway, so the countercade has been totally retooled. So they got the new countercade. It's 15.9 inches tall, I believe is what it was, or is it 14.9? I already got it wrong. It's in my phone. Hold on. I'll get it in a second. So the major difference is the cabinet is a lot smaller. It's like totally logging up on all my B-roll for some reason. All the footage that I'm trying to run for you guys, it's locking up on. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. I'm going to go back to us. And yeah, so the screen size... All right, it's 15.9 inches tall, and it's a 7-inch LCD versus an 8-inch LCD. They fixed it's running the original arcade ROM.
Right. The sound was great on Galaga.
Sound was good. So everything was really good on the Galaga. So I'm pretty stoked on that. And I'm pretty stoked on the new countercade footprint. It's small. It's going to be $100, or at least that's what they're trying to target is $100. And I know everyone's like, oh my gosh, the screen is too small. But it's weird. That cabinet with that height and that width, it works.
Yeah.
Like it totally, I'm being serious, guys. It totally works.
Yeah.
I feel like at $100, that Galaga experience I had, I would buy that. And it was 100% the real ROM, because right now what they have is they haven't blocked the boot menu. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. He said they would.
Yeah, he said he would.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to see the ROM booting, but the ROM right now boots. Like if you were running it under emulation, you'd see the ROM boot. You actually see that right now. So we shut it off and turned it on to prove that. So that was actually really cool. Like I loved that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see a new version of the Centipede countercade. I don't know. Just guessing here, with a smaller size, can you fit, a trackball on it? I'm not sure.
But we did see, what was I going to say about the countercade? There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, so John D. just not going to...
Oh, right. We're getting to that part, right?
Yeah, so John D. is... What?
Turn it off.
Well, I wanted them to see it. It's actually playing now. It wasn't playing before. So while I'm talking about that, so John was talking to buyers from, I think he said they were from Capcom. Yeah, they were people from Capcom, and he was talking to them, and he goes, yeah, and we're thinking about a horizontal Street Fighter in one of these small countercades, and I'm like, okay, that'd be cool. So that would actually be really, really neat if he ended up doing something like that. But he came. It's funny because
he literally came back.
He came back after they were gone. He's like, hey man, did you hear what I was talking about there? Like. And I'm like, what? And he goes, were you going to share that tonight? I'm mm-hmm. So anyways, I think if anything, you as the community should speak up and go, hell yeah, we'd like to have a Street Fighter. Now, the thought was, you guys are probably thinking, how could you do a 2-player Street Fighter on that?
And there were some thoughts on that.
Yeah, and he this is him sharing his thoughts as to what he would want to do if this was a possibility and there was interest. He goes, well, what I would think we would do is we'd be able to link 2 countercades.
Right.
And then he took that thought a step further. He goes, but if you don't want to buy a second countercade, then maybe we'll put a USB port on it, and you can just put a controller so someone can be playing on the countercade, with the arcade controls, and someone could be playing with like an actual arcade controller, which that's actually really cool. I think that'd be neat. So
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, if he ends up doing it. So we'll see. No, nothing about online. I don't think that would be an online cabinet, but...
yeah, I don't think so. So that opens up... to get back to the Mortal Kombat, that was kind of the thing. So if they have to build out... Because as of now, they haven't made a horizontal countercade, right?
No, but there was supposed to be one. So I was excited. They were supposed to do like... Ghosts and Goblins, I think.
Right.
So if you guys remember, so this is proof that sometimes the stuff out of CES doesn't happen. If you go back to the last CES footage, there's a Ghosts and Goblins. It's either Ghosts and Goblins or the other one. I always get it wrong. It's either Ghosts and Goblins or what is it?
Ghouls and Ghosts?
Ghouls and Ghosts. It was one of those. I can't remember. Someone in the chat will know. So there was a mock-up of that. So that would have been the first horizontal one. I had actually, I never really thought about that could be actually a cool mod. Is you
know what you should do is you should do a mod for
Fighter.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
do a video on it, and I think there's someone who might want to pick it up afterwards.
No, but dude, how cool would it be to do like basically? I'll make what they're gonna say they're gonna make,
and then show it off and be like, make this.
Yeah. So basically,
production.
I'll create a Street Fighter countercade. When they come out, I'll get one of these $100 countercades.
Dude, and I'll help you. I'll help you USB port on the side.
Yeah, you gotta help me with that. Okay,
yeah.
So he's the hardware tech guy who can make that happen. So you guys probably don't really talk about this, but Justin does write code. Like, he's really good at all that kind of stuff. So I can get to a certain point, and then I got to pass it off to him. So this could be like a cool joint project.
It'd be cool.
So, all right. So he's in. He's saying he's
Zohar's
in. So.
spamming us now. Watch out, dude.
So wait, I'm just wondering, guys, just from your perspective, do Justin and I, are our microphones about even? Like, do you feel like you're hearing me more than him or anything? I just wanted to check that really quick.
Yeah, audio is important. Give us a 1 if audio is fine on your side, a 0 if we need to work on it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's good because we don't want to, have issues there. So,
yeah. Okay, cool. We're starting to hear
did you get a yes?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. So you were saying there was a couple more super chats because I do want to get to that one special thing that we saw. That I wasn't supposed to see.
Yeah. So we got a super chat. It was just a thank you. Love your show. Excellent work from Rob's Memory Lane. I also want to mention that the Rexer show is in the chat. So, dude, thank you so much for stopping on by. I hope you enjoy our show. And everyone, just a reminder, at the beginning of the show, we did a video of an awesome clip from the Rexer show that we thought was hilarious. If you joined
is he in there? Is that what you said?
No, he's here. Yeah, he was here.
Oh, cool.
He said hi. Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, so he does some really good stuff, and we're going to have a link in the description later. Please, give him a sub, give him a like, show him some love, and check out his video. Everyone just remember, do a search for Modalorian, right? So it's like Mandalorian, but with mod instead.
And just keep in mind, this was him, like, all in good fun, right? Like, we all love ETA Prime.
Everything he does a little making fun of ETA Prime, but it's good.
But it's
good
funny, because literally, no joke, and it's kind of like, I'm sure it's got to be by design from him. He's only shown his face in one interview that I've ever seen, and outside of that, he doesn't show up. Like, he's not like he's not someone that kind of like...
I love his joke, right? He's like, ETA Prime, this is the guy that would... What did he say? You'd get a Pepsi and a Coke, and he would say likes them both.
Yeah, he'd say likes them both. Yeah. So I love him though. I love ETA Prime. I mean, honestly, you could pretty much attribute to the first mod ever as being his. Like, he really opened up the floodgate because he was the first one to show that VS display board was the right one to connect anything you want to the Arcade1up monitor. So I mean, you kind of have to like attribute him to like. In that beginning phases of this, this modding community. So,
yep.
Here's more beer money. Thank you so much, Rob's Memory Lane, dude. That's awesome. So these two losers went out to eat last night after we did the show. We drank like half of a margarita and both all. We were both like so done because if you think about it, he woke up at like 4:00. I woke up at 4:30. I drove. He flew. I don't even know how we did what we did yesterday, but it's that like adrenaline of the event. So hopefully tonight maybe we can have one.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Wait, what is this? Has P-Dubs been kicked out of CES? Stinger Films. Has P-Dubs been kicked out of CES? So. I don't know if everyone knows P-Dubs, but you probably should because he's literally everywhere. He somehow has figured out a way to be like a single person that's like, I don't know, he's everywhere. So his YouTube channel is P-Dubs Arcade Loft. So he does a lot of Arcade1up stuff. But more recently, he started his own podcast, and it's actually a really good podcast.
Yeah, his content is really great now.
Yeah,
I mean, he's really starting to hone in on what he's really, really good at. And and he's here at CES. He volunteered to be a part of the Toy Shock booth, and he's been chatting with that. And he's been giving all the feedback from the community is kind of like this channel, because that's another thing we learned. Arcade1up is really great at being involved in the community, but we'd go talk to some of these other people, and we would like IR Arcade, and we gave them that feedback, and.
We'll see. They're a young company, whether they listen or not.
Yeah, they didn't know about that feedback of like it doesn't look that great, but it's all over Facebook. People saying like, I kind of like the idea, but it doesn't look great.
Well, it was funny because when Justin was like, people don't really think it looks good, he kind of was like, well, where are people saying this? And I think we both kind of paused and looked at each other because we didn't want to say anything. But I have that home. I don't know if you guys know that home arcade enthusiast, or what's my name of my thing? I don't know, whatever. I have a Facebook group. It's called. I don't advertise it as it's mine because I mean, I want people to join it, not that, but I don't want it to be like join it because it's mine. I want people to like run it really. Like I want to be a contributor and be like that, like everyone else. Like I'm not dictating content in there at all. It's just kind of like everyone has fun, and I'll join in the conversation a lot of times. But where was I even going with that?
This is where people giving feedback about II
Oh yeah,
Arcade.
so people in there were giving feedback on II Arcade. People were like, "Oh, because I always put marble countertop. I always drill holes in marble countertops and put my my buttons and joysticks on it and build arcades out of marble." Like it was just weird. So it's a weird. I mean, full transparency, it's not pretty, but it actually worked pretty well.
Right.
Yeah, like, and he did say repeatedly, we've had a bunch of people test this. We've pulled people who are professional gamers and stuff like that. And I actually believe that that's true.
Yeah, because
functionality-wise, it worked really well.
It feels really good. Another super chat, Remy8169. How do you feel about the new Toy Shock upgrade? You can go for it, Ralph, but I'll share my opinion if you want me to share mine.
All right, so sometimes I get beat up for, like, some people will go, oh, you're like kind of in the middle. You're not giving me an answer either way. Or I'll say something like, it's up to you, the consumer, to figure out what you like and dislike. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. So when I went over, the problem is what they have on the show floor is not the changes, really. What they have on the show floor is they took the chrome, the very large chrome bezel, and they sort of like powder coated it black. And so...
Is it an improvement?
I mean, it's just a different colored bezel. I mean, that part of it is not what they're going to come out with. That's just, I think, for the show, they felt like, oh, hey, we can improve upon the overall look. I think it's less distracting to have the black bezel.
Yeah.
So I think people like tend to like have a better experience. But what they are actually releasing, they have mock-up pictures of, which looks kind of almost identical to what Arcade1up's is going to look like. So it's got the chrome rails like you'd expect on a pinball machine, which has the chrome bar in the front and everything. So I'd say the changes that they're going to make seem pretty good. And then we were briefly talking to the Farsight Studios guys, who actually were in the booth with Toy Shock, and they said that any of the lag issues are going to be gone in the second revision. So the lag issues will be fixed. But the one thing they did do, which I did love, is the plunger's actually really good. So they made the ball on the end of the plunger a little larger, and it seems higher quality. And then they put they put a different spring on it, and it actually can. And we haven't done the footage of that booth yet. We're going to do that tomorrow. But it pulls back a little further. It feels more natural. So I like the changes they've made. I struggle with that product, and it's not because I don't like Toy Shock. It's just that I don't feel like right now it has titles that excite me. Like,
right.
That's my feedback.
Here's a quick thought I have on it, and I was mentioning this to people at Toy Shock, and I was saying how, if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you want a Star Wars pinball, you're going to search for Star Wars pinball and discover Arcade1up. And maybe, like us, like everyone in the chat, right, and all of us, we know about Arcade1up, so we're kind of following them. But what if you kind of heard there was a pinball machine out there that was low cost, and you like, oh, there's a Star Wars one, I'll get that. But you don't even know you're buying Arcade1up, right?
Yeah.
So what if your favorite, pinball that you would love to buy in your house is one of the titles that Toy Shock has? You're probably going to buy that one, right? And not even know there's another option. And especially if... probably the best case scenario, I think, for Toy Shock is if Arcade1up's Star Wars price is a little higher, like $600. If it ends up being $600, and then Toy Shock says, you know what, we can increase sales by lowering our price from $399 to $299, and all of a sudden there's like, hey, you could get the $299 one or pay double and get the Star Wars one, and some people won't be able to afford the Star Wars one and love that other title. And it's a perfect product for them.
I know, but my only thing with them is if they make some of these improvements, it might be tough for them to reduce their price. Don't you think?
That's true.
Like Toy Shock might not be able to reduce their price because they're like, well, shoot, we gotta we're upgrading the product now, so now we gotta actually justify the cost and stay steady on the price. I don't know. We'll see. They didn't talk about that. Admittedly, I didn't ask, but they also didn't talk about any kind of like price reduction that I saw. So I think they're probably gonna stay fast on that $399 price point.
So Hot Pockets, I saw your comment about National Lampoons, but I'm not going to highlight it on the channel. I think it's hilarious. And I know what comment. I just read it.
I just read it at the same time. I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of messed up.
If we talk about it, someone's gonna get upset. So anyway,
But we by all means don't like. I'm not dissing on that product though.
no,
I'm not. No,
Right.
I'm really not.
yeah,
I mean, I know in the video I said it's a no for me, dog, but it is. Like, it is a no for me, but that doesn't mean I hate the thing. I thought it was fun, but the problem is that, like, it was fun to a point. I didn't care about any of the games on it. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, it's not like I played pinball in 1970. I wasn't born until 1979, so it's not like I was like, come on, like, you know, Haunted House, I think, came out in, like, 78 or something like that. I wasn't even born.
yeah.
So if in the womb I was like playing some, hey mom, this is baby RetroRalph. I was wondering, can you just swallow a Haunted House machine real quick so I can play it? I love it. It's like got that multi-level. It's the first pinball machine to have 3 play fields. Did you know that? It has an upper play field, a middle play field, and a basement play field. That is really exciting. All right.
All right. So Braxton Braggs, thank you again for another super chat. Arcade1up / Technos Japan.
I don't know what that means.
I wonder because I don't know every title in the world. Is Technos Japan a name of a game?
I'm Googling right now.
All right. And then Casey White, what games will be on the giant Pac-Man joystick?
Oh, he's talking about the game developer, Technos Japan, the game developer. Was there a particular game that you were? Are you looking at? They're River City Ransom, I think, right? Hold on, sorry, I was really stupid of me not to put that into perspective there. Oh, that's interesting. Technos of Japan is actually a bankrupt company. So I wonder how you would get IP from them.
So then we got
Someone probably owns it, I'm sure.
Let's-
It
okay.
talks about there's a company that owns the assets post bankruptcy. We'll have to talk more about that. That's actually an interesting topic. I didn't really sorry, it didn't come to me when you kind of brought that up initially.
yeah. So what about the Pac-Man game? Did we get a list of those games?
No, dude,
They
I
showed
think
they had a handful of them, right? And,
No, they
and that could have
did,
been
but
just the demo.
I think I got so
Yeah.
thrown off by the video. So I don't know if you guys saw that. Someone took the video and edited it because when I was playing it, did I talk about this last night?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I talked about it last night. I'm not going to talk about it again unless you guys want to. But we'll get the list of games from that Pac-Man device.
How about this? Anyone down below, you can mention it in the chat. What happened on the video last night? And we can move on. You can share it with other people.
What, did someone say something about it?
No, but anyway, so a lot of people are talking about partycades. We'll look at it tomorrow. We'll take a look and we'll talk to them about the partycades. I picked up a partycade.
Oh wait, there was a really good question, dude.
Okay, you can interrupt my thing.
I am because it was a good question.
All right, it's your show.
All right, so Stinger Film said, any thoughts on Arcade1up creating a Wi-Fi MK2 cab like NBA Jam? I mean, that would be really cool, like re-release of that cabinet.
Right.
I mean, even though that would technically be like the 3rd release of that cabinet, right?
Right.
Because they did an original Mortal Kombat, they did the Costco Mortal Kombat, and if
Right.
they did a Wi-Fi enabled Mortal Kombat, I mean, that would. I feel like Mortal Kombat was like a really hot seller. I feel like it would maybe bug a lot of people
Right.
if you did that. But
My gut says they're not actually going to re-release any of the cabinets.
you realize that he actually said the complete opposite on one of the other shows we had.
I did. It was my prediction, and it was because talking to them, they mentioned how they've like the Street Fighter. It's really easy for them to take the Street Fighter. Now imagine in some computer at Arcade1up, they have all of the design files for Street Fighter from the PCB to the artwork, and they discuss that, how they build the artwork and they can move the logo, and they had all this technology, right? It's done, right?
Right.
And when they went to Wave 2, Wave 3, they start over because, now they have a lit marquee, so there's all these different arrangements. And it's easy for them to say, spin up some Street Fighter cabinets with a light-up marquee.
Yeah.
They had their guy work on it and make a little tiny adjustment, and they can throw that out on any previous cabinet. But stereo speakers, now this is not what he said, but this is what I think he's implying, right, is adding stereo speakers is a whole different...
It changes the design.
Right, so you have to change the PCB a lot because it doesn't even have a wire out, for it. It's with the 40 pin. So I just don't
Yeah,
think
because
they're
they
gonna
have
do it.
kits. They have to keep consistency, right? It's like if you're a Wave 3 kit, then that Wave 3 kit has the Y adapter for your or has the plug that goes directly into your
Right.
light up marquee. So I think for them, they can't mix mash the SKUs up that
Right.
much because it'd be really hard from a manufacturing standpoint. So that's why I think at some point, they're going to have to stop runs, productions on
They're
stuff.
just going to move on to the next title.
Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
That's right.
Can I share the stupid thing that I've been wanting to share forever now?
Let's catch up on the super chats really quick, and then you can share it. So the super chats are Johnny Carmen. Why isn't Dig Dug on the Pac-Man 40th anniversary? Maybe teaser because they're saving it for a different cabinet, but that's speculation. I think it was probably hard for them to even get Pac-Man and Galaga onto the same cabinet because they were sold separately before, but they did say they decided to consolidate that to a single one. DB, $5. Thank you so much for the super chat. Anything on At Games and any other gaming stuff catch your eye as a must-have? And let's answer that. We're caught up, and you can do your thing. So
Wait,
At Games.
It says, so anything from At Games and anything other than the gaming stuff catch your eye. So,
I think we're going to save that to tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
we'll save
We're
that for
going to do a lot of content that's a little more outside. We're going to do some...
yeah, we're probably going to do we're probably going to get around to some other things tomorrow. So it may be like gaming related, but there was something there was something really cool that we saw that's like a, what?
Zohar, you have to stop! Okay, continue.
So there was some technology that we saw today actually that had Justin and I stopped in our tracks. Like, it's been an evolved technology. We're gonna share that tomorrow. It's not gaming related, but there was.
It could be gaming related.
It could be gaming
'cause you
related.
can connect games to it potentially, maybe.
Well, they had the one game that was running.
Oh, that
on
was
it.
a game.
And so it's kind of
We
cool.
just have to figure out how to capture it, and you'll find out tomorrow why it's difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard to capture the footage, but like, let's just say I've never played Tetris this way, but it was pretty damn cool.
That's right.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, what about At Games? So At Games doesn't have a booth?
No, so At Games doesn't have a booth. At Games is literally here doing private meetings only, and most of the stuff they're talking about is software enhancements to their operating environment. That's all I really know. And one of them is this Project Miami, which if you want to talk about that, you'd probably be better to talk about that one.
Yeah, real quick. So At Games has been developing a new project. It has a couple different code names, but they released it as a public release. It's called My Game Room. And so this idea is you can create your own personal game room in the cloud. And they're playing around with the idea of various pricing models for this because they got some feedback and they're listening to it. And so the idea is you could, with a single click, create your own cloud computer that will run games, that you can stream onto their cabinet. So this is already being working in beta. And so some of the media influencers on YouTube are taking a look at it. You can check out Stephen Haywood's channel. He did a demo of it a few videos back. It's him demoing and playing some of these games. And so the main idea is you have a super high-powered computer in the cloud. These machines are used for like artificial intelligence. You can go to this company and say, hey, I want a cloud machine, and they'll spin up a big one. So At Games is leveraging that technology, plus technology that they bought years ago from GameFly, which is what they're using for Arcade1up, and building a solution that allows you to play these modern games or even retro games streaming, and they have various servers throughout the United States that allows you to get under a single frame. So 60 frames per second, divide that by 1,000, blah, blah, blah. It's basically 10 milliseconds lag. Ping time, right? And that's enough where you won't feel any lag. There's some technical details you can nerd
guys,
out
I
on
wasn't
if you want.
ignoring Justin, but oh my god, I feel this sense of relief right now. So this whole show, I've been hearing. I haven't told you this.
Is this the screen resolution rant all
you've
over
been
again?
echoing like a mofo, and it's been really hard for me to listen to you because like you'll say the word and it doubles on my end, and it's like literally driving my brain insane. I just fixed it. So I'm feeling so much better. I was like, shoot.
It's like this relief.
Oh my gosh, like seriously, dude. It
My
was like, I don't know if you guys know this.
soothing
Have you ever been on
doesn't
like
echo.
a Bluetooth phone connection and your voice is you can hear yourself,
like
and
an
it's
echo.
so freaking hard to talk. You actually start
It's called
talking
jamming,
slower.
right? You're jamming yourself
Yeah,
with
it's crazy
feedback, right?
So, anyways, I fixed it. So thank
Okay,
God.
no more super chats for a while. So Zohar, please ask them anything. Mortal Kombat, Wi-Fi, I have a feeling Zohar is a Mortal Kombat fan.
You think Zohar's a Mortal Kombat fan? I would have never thought that.
No. All right, show your thing.
Okay, so anyways, we were gonna joke that this was a leak, but so I'm in the 1UP booth, and sometimes I snoop around, but I'm not snooping around like 007 style. I'm just picking stuff up and playing with it. And dude, if it's not like chained down, I'm gonna pick it up and try to like play with it. So I saw one of those ColecoVision systems. So I started looking at it, and I'm like, that looks weird. I know that game. Oh, man, why are our video clips locking up? Oh, there it is. Okay, so check it out. Do you know what game that is? Someone in the chat say what game that is, because that sure as shit isn't Frogger.
That's going to be fun for the live stream tonight.
Someone tell me what that game is. So if you saw that clip,
Look.
there it is. Oh, there's the title. So seriously, I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and I want to know what you think of that clip. What the hell? Is this Rex? Did we just leak something?
Well, that's going to be fun for the live stream tonight.
So the Rexer show and I were talking, and I was like, let's go look at those ColecoVision things. So I was like, what the hell? I go, dude, it looks like Castlevania on there. He's like, shut up, no way. And I pick it up, and I'm like, it's freaking Castlevania Bloodlines running on the Frogger machine. Right? So we were laughing about it, and we were like, we were kind of almost looking like, do we tell them? What do we do? So please, guys, don't like do anything with this, but that was kind of interesting because I'm like, what is going on with that?
That's just for you guys.
Now I didn't have a chance to my other clip. I didn't have a chance to upload. But I was also with I keep forgetting the name of the Rexer show. I don't remember his actual name, and I'm sorry about that. But the Rexer show, super nice guy. We had a really cool conversation. But he picks up the Mega Man. So we just discovered this funny thing about the Frogger, and he picks up the Mega Man. And he looks at me. He's like, "Hey man, you want to play Maga Man?" I'm like, and I start laughing. I'm like, shut up. It doesn't say Maga Man. And on the boot screen, it said Maga Man. So just keep in mind, okay, in all fairness, all of this stuff is evaluation products. They're like things they're showing off to potential customers. So I'm sure whatever kinks are there are going to be worked out. Like, I'm thinking Castlevania Bloodlines is not going to be on the Frogger machine, but it was funny nonetheless. So that was the secret thing that I wanted to share with you guys tonight.
So, RM, you mentioned a question, SSB upgrade for the current GT owners. And so, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work, right?
What?
So
Upgrades for Golden Tee?
Yeah, because Golden Tee is technically Wave 1, Wave 2 cabinet, which doesn't have USB,
think that
right?
one it does not have a BOE monitor, if I
No.
remember right. I don't think you're going to see any upgrades to Golden Tee. We may not see that Golden Tee at all, because, I mean, they took
it away, right?
They took it off the floor, so I don't know what that means. I'll ask them tomorrow. They've been really open. The problem is that I feel like I ask them a question, and maybe they give me some information. Then I hear them talking to a prospective customer. Because think about it. If this is how agile I think Arcade1up is, they could remove that from the floor. Some customer came in there yesterday and was like, "Hey, didn't you have so-and-so on the floor the other day? I was really interested in that. We just didn't get a chance to talk." I would be interested in ordering, 20,000 of those, right? And so all of a sudden, you bet your ass Arcade1up's going to be motivated to figure out some way to do that. So I don't know the story why they took Silver Strike off. I'll ask him tomorrow. Justin will remember because I have the worst memory ever. But we'll ask him tomorrow. I don't envision an upgrade kit though, just because it has the old monitor.
Unfortunately, it's kind of, they've already sold the cabinet.
Yeah, I don't see that. And they haven't done upgrade kits. Like
They've always said let's see. So NBA Jam, they have Wi-Fi enabled to be connected, and they did mention that they currently in the original NBA Jam game, there's 2 players they don't yet have signed off and a license to be able to do. So it's possible.
I thought it was 3.
Was it 3? I thought it was only 2.
I saw something. I thought, unless it's changed.
Okay,
I
it's
thought
a
it was
very
3
low
players.
number, right?
Yeah.
And it's a higher number on Tournament Edition, and it's a higher number on NBA Hang Time. This is just them openly saying, like, here's where we're at. Like,
Yeah.
and here's what's cool. They said, we may just release it like that. Because their backup is once they get those rest of those players, they can do an update.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool because they're thinking, hey, why should you as a community you don't have to wait now because now we have the ability to do an update.
Right.
But if they're forthcoming with that, hey guys, the NBA Jam cabinet's coming out. 3 of the players are going to have like blanks on them or whatever, or fill in names or something.
Yeah, swapped out for a fake player or something like that.
That may change. Like, that's kind of cool to be that transparent. So I think they're starting to be even more transparent because, honestly, there was that whole thing with the TMNT thing, but that actually wasn't even their fault.
What was the TMNT thing? Oh, the sound, the music.
Yeah, so everyone was complaining about TMNT not having the original sound thing. That actually wasn't their fault. They received the game file from, I guess, the publisher that way. So, and there was no way for them to...
The publisher already worked out,
it was
the song
that
it's
way.
going to be, and they delivered it.
So it's one of those things, yes, could they have maybe said it? That's up to you whether they think they needed to say that or not. But, I didn't view that as a big deal because it's not like I'm sitting there listening to the song all day. I'm playing the game. So, and honestly, a lot of the people, unless you're a hardcore fan, I mean, we all know. If you're watching this, you probably know about the song, and it might irk you a bit, but it didn't take away from the enjoyment of the cabinet, in my opinion, for me at least. So,
while we're on the subject of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Stranger Films says, "Thank you for the super chat, the $2. NBA Jam has scan lines, or was it pixelated like TMNT?"
So, dude, I'm trying to remember. I don't think
the
they had
Sega
scan
cabinet
line
had
filter on
scan lines.
What did?
The Sega cabinet,
Yeah,
right?
the Sega
Golden
cabinet
Axe,
did.
and it looked amazing. It looked really, really good.
They did a really good job on the scan line.
And it's not done, right? So they had not yet put the cog in, the settings button that allows you to adjust those scan lines, but they mentioned they're going to work on that. And NBA Jam, they said, was also not done. The version that they had all the players on it.
Yeah.
And it also had all the... Someone was telling me that some guy was... I can't remember what he said, but at CES, there was a person that stopped by that actually is in the NBA Jam game.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but he's as a hidden character, right?
Okay.
And he came over and put in the code.
And it worked?
And it worked, right? And
Okay.
and unfortunately, he said the guy's name really quick, and I didn't recognize the name,
cool.
so
We'll
I
have to
couldn't
go look
remember
that
it.
up.
And so I guess what we're saying is, like, even the hidden characters are in it, but John D said, like, this won't be the version, this is not the production-ready version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
but I
maybe
don't
it'll have
remember-
scan lines, we don't know.
To answer the question, the one on the floor didn't have scan lines.
That's right, it did not have scan
So
lines.
so that might be that's a good question. We'll have to ask them that tomorrow because the scan lines that, like Justin's saying, the scan lines that they actually and by the way, you did say this, but in the production release of that Sega cabinet, they'll have options to turn them on or off. So if you don't like that look, you can shut it off. But I don't see why they wouldn't do that with NBA Jam too. Because I'm gonna guess that
They
moving
did
forward,
a lot of work on it. Like,
Yeah.
there's this whole story that a lot of people don't know, but there's a handful of games out there, retro games, that the source code was stolen by employees. Okay? Like, the IP owner does not have the original source code for the game anymore. But people that worked for the company back in the 80s, kind of like, when they left the company, they didn't have thumb drives back then, but they took the floppy disk or whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually those people came back and said, I have the original source code. And that's why you're able to see some of these games with, like, rewind features. Like, these rewind features are because they got the original source code. And some of the, like, sprites were unused, and they re-added it. Now, we're not talking about Arcade1up necessarily, but the companies that Arcade1up works with are the same companies that I'm describing that have retooled games from original source code. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that they said NBA Jam, like, they're working with the developers to get that Wi-Fi capability built into the game, and I think they've got the source code to NBA Jam. It's not a ROM hack is what I'm saying, right?
So this is the part of the conversation yesterday where, like, I was getting wicked ADD, RetroRalph. So we were talking to this guy, and he was super interesting, right? And normally in a normal mindset. So when I'm on the show floor, I'm thinking, all right, we filmed this. We're going to film that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Justin, he went over the
You went over the top.
no, you went over the quota. You went over the social quota with this guy. So Justin went super verbose
Who was
mode.
this?
When we were talking to the guy, see, I don't remember what he's talking
guy
about
from
because he was
Arcade1up?
like, the guy was super nice guy and he kept going on, but I was like in the mode of we're filming stuff, so let's we need to stop this conversation now. And so Justin started talking about source code and all this other stuff, and then they were
I
like,
don't
we
remember
retooled NBA Jam. So Justin was like,
That didn't happen. He's just making stuff up. It was a 5-minute conversation. He's making it sound like I
a 15.
talked this.
It was not 5 minutes, dude.
No.
It was not 5 minutes.
Okay, fine, whatever.
All right. I want to eat soon, by the way.
Okay,
I'm pretty
so people keep on mentioning the countercade. So
No,
we-
Cade, wanna.
No, I'm sorry.
Count
the wallcade, the partycade, any improvements.
All right, I will be the first to admit, I actually don't. I ignore the shit out of the partycade. In every video I walk by it, every time I film it, you're the only one that knows anything about the partycade because you own one. I don't know shit about the partycade. I really don't.
Yeah, so I gave them my feedback of I was gonna make a video on it, but there's this guy who made a video. Like I got the partycade, right? I filmed the unboxing, I filmed my initial gameplay, and immediately was like, Galaga's got a problem.
Galagala.
Galagala.
Yeah.
Like immediately I'm like, the sound doesn't sound right.
Big Daddy Comrade says partycade suck ass.
Yeah, so I looked at it and it's not using it's using and it makes sense, right? It's $199, right? So it's not gonna have all of the same parts as the $300 or $500 cabinets.
Can I tell them about this? So have you guys ever seen? Please put in the chat if you've seen it. Have you seen the party? I'm kind of dissing the partycade. Have you ever seen the partycade with like the sleds on it? So you can
it has
put
feet.
You can put the partycade
It's pretty
on the
clever,
table. So I.
What?
What's that noise?
Oh, it's an airplane.
Oh, so I was like, I got all freaked out right there. I was like, we're under attack, Justin.
Right.
So I had this idea that I was gonna buy a partycade and I was gonna bring it up to Flagstaff. It snows in Flagstaff, Arizona, believe it or not. It's actually pretty cold up there. And I was gonna go find a sledding area and I was gonna see if I could get it to sled down a hill with the two things.
Oh my God.
But I was gonna strap a
Seriously?
battery to it, so I was gonna put a battery in it so it could be powered on. And I was gonna see if we could sled it down the hill, like, cause it makes me laugh. The partycade,
Right?
The Arcade1up partycade.
Okay,
Doesn't ring a bell. He's totally dissing
here's
me
the
right
deal.
now, by the
like,
way.
it's the Galaga. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that would buy the partycade and play Galaga and never know that there's an issue. Like anyone in my family, they're not.
Galagala.
Yeah, they would just play it and be like, oh my God, like my sister, her favorite game is Galaga. She plays, it's like her biggest. I bet if I had her play it, she wouldn't even notice there's an issue.
Someone says I could totally. So a rental copy video. Are you saying that I could actually get it to sled to be a sled down the hill? I think it could. Those things. If I put some Crisco on those puppies. It go right down the hill. I know it. Like, how fun would that be to do a video? Be like, the Arcade1up partycade. I'm like, go get him, buddy.
Wait, I was about to say, like, I'll send it to you, but you live in Arizona. I live in Iowa. That means you fly out to Iowa.
No,
wait,
I was just, you weren't listening to me. Flagstaff, Arizona has snow.
Oh, where?
Flagstaff, Arizona.
No, but where?
In the mountains of Flagstaff,
Yeah,
Arizona.
so in the mountains it has. Okay.
No, but Flagstaff. It's,
you just gave me. I'm gonna do the video. Is what I. That's.
Oh
thank
yeah,
you
so he's
very
gonna
much.
steal my
Appreciate
idea.
it.
I think you should at least try. Be
Yeah,
like,
but how do I
be
make it
encouraging
work?
to it. Be like, come on, partycade. We know you've been stuck on the wall for so long. Like, how can you have a party when you're stuck on the wall?
I'm gonna set this partycade free.
We're gonna set you free, buddy. Oh man, he didn't make it. Like, it'd be so fun. That thing is going sledding on my channel or his channel. I don't care. I don't care how stupid that is and how much of a waste of time. It's freaking happening.
All right, so Christian Slater in the chat says, "Focus, guys." Sorry, I purposely said
I'm
your
not
last name
focused at
wrong
all.
so that Ralph would be like, "What?"
Holy shit, we've gone an hour and a half. Okay, guys, seriously, I love all of you guys, and I'm having a ton of fun. But the only reason why I got to wrap it up is because I'm on a different time zone than Classic Kim, and I haven't really talked to her much. I'm being not the best fiance, because this thing is really time. Like this whole, we're having so much fun, and I could do this all day long. I could literally be still on that show floor. So we are gonna have to wrap it up in like the next like 5 or so minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna text Kim while you talk.
All right. How about that? He's gonna text Kim. He's gonna smooth things over with his new fiance.
No, I'm not.
And then we're gonna talk in the chat. So anybody have any more questions for us? Tomorrow we're gonna try to ask as many questions, get those answers. We're gonna do one. I think tomorrow is our final CES show, right? Because Friday you're gonna leave.
Yep, I'm out of here.
All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Skill Matey, you've been following us for a long time. Love you, man. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. So Arcade1up hit a home run at CES. What do they do at E3? Well, we did talk to them about that, and they said they have more aces up their sleeve.
Yeah, that's all they said. I mean, they're not gonna like, show all their cards. The interesting thing is John D, who's like their lease or licensing guy. He does a whole lot of. He's a higher up in the company now.
Yeah.
If you go to their website, I think he shows up as like the key executives or something like that. But super nice guy. He does like, it's interesting because he kind of teases a lot of stuff. So, and I think some of it he does to sort of feel out whether he thinks that we think that that's cool. And then I think sometimes he's doing it to throw you off the scent, right? Like, hey, I'm going to say this because I don't want everyone to know. So
but
that's
Scott,
a balancing
the
act,
CEO, was the same way. And he came over twice, and he had the same thing for Ralph. He really wanted to know Ralph's genuine feedback for 2 things. Remember, he came up to you and he said, "Ralph, tell me honestly what you think of the Star Wars pinball."
Yeah,
and you were like,
"Yeah," I was like, "Thumbs up,
thumbs
dude."
Up.
Now I'm giving him the thumbs up, thinking I have no idea how they're going to hit that price point, but if they do, that was a pretty cool thing. Now it's hard, right? Because if you go play the virtual pinball, and you're like all jazzed up, I've been playing so much virtual pinball lately that I hadn't played many mechanical pinballs, and we went to the Stern thing, and dude, Stern is blowing it up right now. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars for a pinball machine, but the two can't be compared. Like you just can't compare those experiences.
Right. So if you're just connected later, at the very beginning of our live show, we talked about Stern, how we interviewed him, and then how we played the Stranger games.
Stranger Things, yeah.
Yeah, Stranger the arcade, and it was amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think we may see this pinball thing is going to blow up for them if they release the product the way it is, like with a couple of this enhancements they're talking about doing, because it's not full production.
they let Ralph. Those that don't know, Ralph played the pinball game.
It was pretty awesome. Like I really enjoyed it. So
we have to move on. We're running out of time.
We got to wrap it up.
The second thing was he wanted to know how you thought about the countercade.
Yeah, he said, did how'd the countercade go? But it's funny.
Did we get it right? Is what he said.
I think they
this
did.
time.
If the price point's right. I think the games, they got the games right. The ROMs are going to be the arcade ROMs.
And you said something back to Scott that I think you should mention, and it's Ralph, your channel is a lot about modding.
I think I said I like it in this format.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't mod it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
The Marvel limited edition cabinet. You're like, that's an example of one. You don't need to mod.
I wouldn't mod that cabinet. I like it a lot.
And then the countercade.
The only thing,
unless it's to change its title to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, guys, that's the one thing though. If you're buying just a single cabinet, but you want to have access to tons of games, well then modding is going to be your route, right? Because it'll only play the games that are on there, right? The 4 or so games that are on it.
Yeah, there's a certain point where they hit the mark so well, you almost don't want to mod it because you're gonna kind of
and especially if you really like those titles. Like I loved the Punisher in the arcade.
Yeah.
So I'm actually that Marvel cab. I love Marvel, but I don't love necessarily the Marvel games on there. But I absolutely adore Punisher. So it's one of those things. I don't want to touch that cabinet. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So
the Punisher cabinet didn't have the best artwork. It kind of was like kind of plain. So anyways.
So one last super chat. So Jamie,
and then we got to lock it up.
Wilkaszewski. He said, get some In-N-Out. And that reminds me, we do not have In-N-Out in Iowa, so maybe we can swing by. I don't know. We were going to do something else tonight, but maybe tomorrow for lunch or something.
In-N-Out sounds awesome.
Do they have that in Arizona?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
I love
for
it.
that.
But thank you so much for that.
And
Appreciate it.
You should mention that Kim was okay with the whole Pac-Man thing. She knows, It didn't mean anything.
She didn't see it. I don't know if Kim would be okay with it just
And
because...
I didn't text her about it, I swear.
I think Kim might just be like, what the hell? Especially if she might not think that if she saw my version of the video, but that one that's floating
She might
out
say
there.
you're in love with Pac-Man.
No. Well, I would hope that if I am in love with any, not that there's anything wrong with liking Pac-Man, but my personal preference is I would want to like and do that to Mrs. Pac-Man, not Pac-Man. But that's just me, and I'm totally cool with whoever if you choose Pac-Man, that's cool too. But for me, Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah,
So anyways,
what happens in Vegas?
yeah, what happens in Vegas? That's a very fitting last comment. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to play us out now because this was an awesome show. I really appreciate all you guys. We're going to see if I can find the clip of our actual music, which I don't even think I have. So we're just going to roll it without it. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. I like the music, so I don't like Justin's version that much, but so we'll see. I don't have it. Oh, God, please. I need to find this soon. All right, hold on, please. Are you going to keep doing it till I find it? Come on, please, for the love.
Oh, the song's over already.
Hold on, I got to find it. I think I found it. Okay, thank God, thank God.
Here we go.
I found it. It's not playing.
Hit the music.
Or it is playing really loud, and I can't hear it. I think it is playing. It's playing extremely loud.
All right, we're blowing out everyone's
Yeah, we
ears.
just blew out everyone's eardrums. Sorry about that,
All right,
guys.
thanks, guys. We'll see you
Wait,
guys
no,
tomorrow.
I want to do the.
We're doing it right now.
No,
we
we're
love
not.
you.
Hold
Thank you
on.
so much for joining us tonight.
All right, I can hear it now. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was awesome. This was day 2, so we have one more day on the show floor. I don't know what we're going to do on Friday. We may or may not go on the show floor, but we have one at least full whole day left. So we're going to bring it to you again tomorrow night, and we appreciate everyone watching. The super chats are much appreciated, and yeah, we've had so much fun. You guys, the reason this show is good is because you're so interactive, and Justin laughs at me. He's laughing at me.
People
So I'm
are
going
saying
to
they
punch him
can't-
in the face after
They
this.
can't hear the music.
They can't?
Just forget it. Say your goodbye.
No, they can hear the music. They're lying.
Okay, thank you very much.
No.
We're going to be back tomorrow.
Hold on, I need to get
Oh
the
my
music
gosh.
on.
Look at this. He has to fix it. See, this is how crazy this man is. It's not a big deal.
Oh, hold on, ready? It's fixed, right? It is, right? Hold on, I gotta
Thank you
get
for the last
confirmation.
super chat, Ray Double Dong. Can you find out if Arcade1up
No.
will come to Oz?
The music has to be on now.
Thank you
They're lying.
so hard. I will talk about source codes all the time.
They're totally lying. There has to be music. I just
There's
fixed
no
it.
music. They can't hear anything. Woo!
They're lying so bad. Everyone's messing with me so bad right now. I know it. It actually is working.
No, they're hitting zeros.
No, now we can hear it. No, Stinger Films is the only guy that's like. Everyone else is messing with me.
No
Stinger
one can
Films-
hear it. Music
No,
is off.
you guys are so messed up. Anyways, it's on. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay, guys. In order for Kim not to kill me and murder me, I gotta go. And it's not because I don't love you guys. It's because the music
They said
stopped.
it's low volume now.
Hold on.
Okay, if we
There
push
it
a
is.
little bit harder,
We're back.
we're gonna get Rage Ralph.
I know, I'm going to get mad soon. I am hangry a little bit right now, so we got to wrap it up. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Take care, and we will see you on the next one.